Hey, Tommy from the Run Testers with another full running shoe review. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Nike Infinity 4 Gore-tex shoe. These were sent to me by the guys over at Sport Shoes, so big thanks to them for sending these over. I'm not paid to review this shoe, so I can say whatever I want, but cheers for getting this over so that I can do this review. Also, if you go into the caption below, you can find a link to find out more about these shoes on Sport Shoes. It is an affiliate link, so if you do end up buying these, then just be aware of that. Right, let's dive in, and I'm going to talk about this shoe. The Nike InfinityRN 4 Gore-tex costs £174.95 or $180, weighs in at 382 grams or 13.5 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 8mm. The InfinityRN 4 Gore-tex takes the latest model of the Infinity and adds a new upper to help protect the feet from moisture. Like the original Infinity 4, it has the same new ReactX midsole foam to provide additional bounce, which also lowers the carbon footprint of the material by at least 43%. The shoe also features the same wide toe box for increased comfort, as well as additional stability. There's a curved outsole design to promote a rocker experience when running, as well as a storm tread outsole to provide a high level of grip and extra protection for the midsole. There's plenty of cushioning around the ankle collar for a nice level of stepping comfort, pull tabs on both the heel and the tongue, and a reinforced water repellent layer in the toe box. So the fit for me in this shoe, I would stick to my size. I'm a size 8 in the UK. This is also a size 9 in the US. What I would say about it, and I said it in the first run, is that it's a very roomy shoe. There is a lot of space in this shoe. If you've got narrow feet, you're probably going to notice that there is an enormous amount of space in there. Around the midside of the foot and in the forefoot as well, there's a little bit of extra space. I would still stick to my size in it because I did find them very comfortable, but just be aware of that. It is a very roomy shoe. Other than that, the upper is very comfortable. There's a lot of space across the whole shoe, but it is quite easy to get a nice lockdown fit in this. The lacing system is pretty good. So I would stick to my size in this shoe. Okay, so this is a funny shoe. It's a really, really heavy shoe. One of the heaviest shoes I've ever tested, basically. The addition of the Gore-tex in the upper has not massively changed the weight of the shoe. The shoe was already heavy in its previous version before it had this Gore-tex in it. So it is just a really heavy shoe. What I would say about it is that I tested the Infinity 2 and Infinity 3. I found those to be solid shoes, but I'd never really used them that much for running after testing them because they were just... The midsole was just very, very firm. They just didn't seem to have any life in them. They're very solid, stable shoes, but they basically got turned into gym shoes for me. And the InfinityRN 3 has been my gym shoe for like 2 years now. I absolutely love that shoe. It's just very stable, good for weightlifting and stuff like that. But for running, not great. I hardly ever use it for running, and I think there's better stability shoes out there. So I never really understood what the Infinity range is for. The new Infinity 4, it is a hulking shoe. It's heavy, it's big, there's a lot of space in it, there's loads going on with this shoe. And as a running shoe, it makes it very difficult to review because it's not really a running shoe in a lot of ways because of those elements like the weight and things like that. So I've done about 50k in this shoe so far, and that has largely been easy efforts. I have tried to run faster in it. I can't run faster in this shoe. It is not a fast running shoe. It's too heavy. The design of the shoe isn't really built for speed. There's no propulsion. That midsole foam in it it's very stable. It's very thick and hard wearing, but there is no real life in this shoe. It's not a shoe that's designed for long runs or any sort of performance type running. It's just a really solid shoe, to the point where it's almost a walking shoe. For walking, it is so comfortable. It is a really comfortable shoe. There's lots of space in the forefoot. It's got loads of padding in it. It's just a really nice, stable, wide shoe that is just very comfortable to wear if you're out walking. But for running, it's not quite so good. At easy paces, it's okay. You can run in it. There's a bit of a smooth motion in running in it. You definitely wouldn't want to go long distance in this shoe. It's way too heavy for that. But it's fine. You can run in it, but only the most general level of running. If you're just going out and ticking off 5Ks, maybe this will be fine for that. You wouldn't go and do any sort of session in it. You wouldn't aim to go run long distances in the shoe. You could just use it for doing bits of running. Maybe if you're in the gym and you are using it for doing exercises and you're going on the treadmill and things like that, that's probably fine. But when you put it up against other running shoes, it just doesn't really deliver. It's too heavy, it's too bulky, and it doesn't really have any performance benefits that you might want from a road running shoe. Now, the bit that I should probably talk about is this Gore-tex upper. Now, that's obviously the selling point. It's a Gore-tex shoe, and Nike has decided to put Gore-tex on the InfinityRN 4 to improve it, or to make it suit a different type of runner that wants that Gore-tex. I've never really looked for waterproof running shoes. Even when it's raining, I'm not really that bothered about my feet getting wet. But when I'm walking, I do care about that. So if I'm out walking and I'm going across fields, or I'm walking in the mornings and it's dewy or there's a little bit of rain, I do care about my feet getting wet then. And this shoe is actually really good for that. I really like the upper on this shoe. It does a fantastic job at protecting the feet against the wet. So it's been raining a lot in Brighton recently, and I've been wearing these shoes quite a bit for both walking and in my running testing, and it does keep your feet dry. It's really, really good at it. I don't think it would keep the feet completely dry if you were in torrential rain and it started dripping down your legs and going into it, but for light showers, for rain that just is sort of intermittent, it's absolutely fine. It beads on the outside of the shoe very nicely, and it is a very, very impressive Gore-tex outer on it. So for me, that Gore-tex outer is actually really good for walking, because it's the sort of thing that I want for my walking shoes, which I don't really bother about in my running shoes. So essentially what I'm saying is this shoe is a very, very good, solid, nice looking, fashionable walking shoe that can deal with the elements. But for the running testing that I'm doing, it's not been great. The other thing I would say is that the outsole, so it's got this Storm Tread wet traction rubber outsole on it, which is like a semi-trail outsole. When I actually opened the box for these shoes, I straight away thought it was a trail shoe. It's Gore-tex, it's got this more substantial outsole on it. It's not exactly the same as a trail shoe. The lugs aren't massive. It's not really designed like that, but it's definitely designed for wet traction on trickier terrain and trickier road surfaces. And it's great. It's really, really good for that. I've been running in the rain in it, and it just feels so stable, and like your feet are in place. It is a very, very nice outsole. And you could also use it, and this is where I think this shoe really comes into its own, is semi-trails. So if you're running along wet paths, public footpaths, that sort of thing, this actually delivers a bit more like a trail shoe. It is a lot heavier than what you want from a road shoe. It's not designed for speed or anything like that, but it is a really solid workhorse for tricky conditions. So if you are the sort of person that's out walking or running on footpaths, canal paths, things like that, this is a road shoe that is basically designed to tackle those things, and it does a very good job at it. It's a solid waterproof shoe, basically. My verdict on the Nike InfinityRN 4 Gore-tex is that it is a solid walking shoe for tackling the elements. So if you are looking for a shoe that can keep your feet dry, can handle slippy surfaces, and you're walking, it's great. It's really, really comfortable. There's loads of padding in it. There's loads of space in it. It is a fantastic shoe for walking around in. And I presume from the design that it's also focused on the fashion side as well. I use this shoe. It's basically become a gym shoe for me, like the InfinityRN 3 was before it. And I think it's absolutely great for that. It's solid, it's stable, it keeps your feet in place, and it just feels really nice and comfortable as well. As a running shoe, I don't know. I can't think of what it's competing with. I don't think that anybody who had this shoe would want to do more than about 5K in it. I think it's maybe at best a general running shoe designed for people maybe going to the gym and using treadmills, or somebody that is just going out and doing 5K very comfortably, not with no performance benefits, no speed work or anything like that, maybe in conditions that are a little bit tricky. So maybe if you live in the countryside and the roads are maybe not as smooth or as well irrigated as you might get in urban environments. This might be a good option for that. You could probably deal with footpaths and stuff like that as well in this shoe, and it would do a fine job. But other than that, I would say that it's not really a running shoe. It's more like a general fitness shoe which you can use for a bit of running, but definitely very comfortable walking shoe that I am using quite a lot. But for the price, for a runner, I would say this shoe doesn't really serve a purpose. Okay, that's it from me on this review of the Nike Infinity Run for Gore-Tex. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that little bell, and if you're going to Catch and Blow, you can find a link to this shoe on the Sports Shoes website. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.